everybody. So happy New Year. We are so excited to be here to be talking about the latest Hallmark programming. And we're the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are here to do our review of A Midnight Kiss and to talk about the Winterfest movies. Everybody loves previews. So this should be very fun. And I'm Rachel, and I'm joined by one of my favorite people in the whole world, joined by the amazing Gregg McBride.
I paid her to say that. I did. I admit it. That was my Christmas gift. Thanks, Rachel.
So Gregg is here, and we get double the fun because Emma from the Hallremark is here.
Yay!
Hey! I didn't get as good as an intro as Gregg did, but I'll be okay.
Yeah. Nobody gets the intro that Gregg gets. Sorry.
Well, I will say that Emma complimented my sweater right away. So Emma is number one in my book. That's my guest intro for Emma.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out on some really good sweater action from Gregg.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh,
Watch the kiss. Oh, my dears are kissing. Don't worry. All right.
So did you guys have a good Christmas, the holiday season? Did you have a fun time?
I had an amazing Christmas, and I'll tell everyone why, because we did a little Hallmarkies Secret Santa, and I got none other than Rachel, which I was so excited when I got you. That was fun.
Gregg is the best at Secret Santas that there could possibly be. I put on my wish list this, just kind of as a pipe dream, this artwork from this animated film, this very obscure little animated film that I loved this year called Sergeant Stubby. And he got it for me, and I opened it, and I literally started to cry because I was so, I loved it. You nailed it. You did a great job.
Oh, that's great. I was happy to do it.
Yeah, it was. I have it right in my main sort of kitchen dining area. I have have it right there because it's so sweet. But it was a big success. Emma, you were able to participate in the Secret Santa, right?
Well, I was going to, and then I was like, oh no, I have to give out my address. So I didn't do it.
Understandable.
Maybe next year I'll not be so scared of everything. So that'll be my New Year's resolution. To not be so private and secretive.
Yeah, I can understand that. So did you have a nice Christmas though?
It was a nice Christmas. It was really different because my toddler had the stomach bug. I made this really nice, elaborate meal for me for Christmas Eve. It was Chrissy Teigen's mac and cheese, which is, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And then I made sausage bread, and then of course we had broccoli. And the second we sat down to eat, my toddler said, no way, for a minute, and then she threw up everywhere. So it was a different Christmas. But it was really nice because we just got to hang out, the three of us, my husband and my toddler.
At least it was memorable.
It was a very memorable Christmas.
I have a similar story to your toddler, naturally. There was one Christmas that me and some friends went to go see the stage version of High School Musical. So it was us and billion kids. And literally on Christmas Eve, I woke up, my favorite day of the year, the 2 days of hardcore Christmas. And I did not feel well. I couldn't even drink my coffee. And for anyone that knows me knows that is a bad sign. And I literally was probably doing what your toddler did for the next 24 to 48 hours. I was miserable. However, there was a good thing is it was the first time I went into the new year not having to get rid of 5 pounds. So there was part of me that was tempted to breathe into a plastic bag while I still had germs and just kind of Ziploc it and save it for, another time when I ate French fries. But I didn't. Anyway, so your toddler and I, we're like this.
It's like the Devil Wears Prada diet.
That's right, exactly.
One more stomach flu till I reach my ideal weight.
That's right. Although I'm sure Emma is just perfect. Is she, or Emma's toddler, is everything better now, Emma?
Well, now that she has a cold.
Okay. She's like, next.
That's the only thing that's slightly better about if you get a stomach flu versus other flu is that they're usually like severe but swift.
Yeah.
There's like 1 day, 2 days, whereas like you get a virus, bronchitis, it can last for a month, 2 months.
Right.
It can be the worst. And but yeah, it's the worst when you're just like praying for death. You're just like so sick. Oh man, poor thing.
Anyway, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New
Year. Yeah. Well, I had a really nice Christmas. It's kind of funny because there was, so much for me to cover in the first 3 weeks of December over Thanksgiving, all of that. And then the actual week of Christmas, there really wasn't a whole lot. It's kind of a funny thing that most of the shows and other things are pretty much done by the actual week of Christmas. I guess there's the one calls the Heart movie, but yeah, I was just proud of myself for making it through.
Yeah, you rock. You do so well. I can't imagine doing as much as you do, like
oh my gosh,
content.
Your Instagram videos were like marathon sessions, Rachel. It was like, is she taking a break in between these? Like there would be days where you'd be reviewing like 5 or 6 movies at once. It was awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll put a link if people want to follow me on my personal account on Instagram, but I do mini reviews of everything I watch on my Insta story. And sometimes I would let it build up, but there were days on Saturdays that I would watch like 6 movies. I would just boom, boom, boom.
I love it. I always tease Rachel because her Instagram videos are a little like Blair Witch Project. It's like, but I love it because she'll give you the little encapsulated review, and then she'll even show you the poster if there is one. It's really fun. You definitely should follow her on Instagram. She's great. And you have to watch her live stories that expire in 24 hours. Yeah. And you might even see her open a gift from me, which I did get to see that time, and I couldn't comment on it. But boy, that was fun.
That was so fun. And yeah, you could tell that I really liked Christmas Perfection because I watched that movie after having watched like 4 duds in a row. And I was like, these non-Hallmark movies are terrible. I don't know why I'm wasting my time with this. And then I put on Christmas Perfection and I was like, whoa! Like, forget other Christmas movies. This one just ruled them all. But I don't know. It was a really fun experience. I mean, I'm a completionist in things, and I think it's really interesting when you see things in their totality, because it forces you to watch things that you wouldn't normally watch, like something like, here I was watching Santa Jaws, and I actually thought it was fun, and other things like that. I like that. I like kind of being forced out of my comfort zone, but also I just think there's something really interesting about, I don't know, seeing 15 movies about the girl who goes home to the town from the city, and you're like, I feel like I could write a PhD thesis.
I bet you could.
Well, you learn early in screenwriting that most stories have been told, and especially romantic comedies, right? We know where it's going.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how do you make that journey interesting? And it can be done in an interesting way, even though we've seen the story a million times or whatever it is. It's that comfort food that we love, right? Which brings us back to Hallmark all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's really interesting because you're like, why did this one work and this one not work? And they have the same ingredients. And you have to kind of think about it and think about what happened. And so to me, it's really interesting. But anyway, so it was an eventful December for me and I really enjoyed it. And so we just have one more that's officially Countdown to Christmas we're going to cover. And then we're going to do our Winterfest preview, which I look forward to very much. But we had a Midnight Kiss. So they had a New Year's Eve movie, sort of a rarity that they had. They've done a couple others that they had. One called the Heart movie that was New Year's themed. Last year they had Royal New Year's. And The Birthday Wish was actually a sort of the New Year's movie. It has a brief New Year's scene, and there's actually New Year's Scene in One Winter Weekend, which we'll talk about the sequel coming out. So they've had a few little New Year's, but it's definitely a little bit different. And so this stars Carlos Penavega and Adelaide Kane. And this little summary is to prepare Lisa Patterson and her family of party planners are given the biggest job in their company's history, a New Year's Eve party for tech entrepreneur Megan Clark. But when her brother breaks his leg and her parents head off on a planned vacation, Lisa must reluctantly enlist the help of her brother's visiting college buddy, David Campos, to help her to pull off the event, which just so happens to fall on her favorite day of the year, New Year's Eve. But what Lisa didn't plan on was falling in love in the process.
It was a big surprise. It really was. Yeah.
And this must have been it felt like the 50th movie I've seen this year with people planning parties. That was a big theme for Hallmark this year.
I bet it was like the 75th movie you've seen of people planning parties.
It feels like it. I'm like, I'm surprised they didn't work that into Santa Claus. Well, it was just the theme of this Christmas. Emma, what was your overall thoughts about this film?
Okay. I wrote down, it was a movie. That is honestly what I got. And I know I don't mean that in a mean way. It wasn't bad and it wasn't great. It was just a movie to me, and I didn't take much away from it.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I've got.
So you weren't violently offended?
No, I wasn't offended at all, but I wasn't like, woo, yeah. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think, Greg?
Well, to quote Emma's toddler, what was the no way, no way? I probably liked it a little bit less than Emma. I appreciated what it was trying to do, and I found the lead actress quite lovely. But, it had some problems for me from the beginning, and I don't feel like it quite recovered by the end.
So I thought it was serviceable. It wasn't great. I thought that I'm kind of joking online that I think Carlos Penavega's back must be hurting from carrying the movie, because to me, his charisma and charm was the reason why I liked it, I guess. He was, I think this is probably the best he's ever been. I think it actually was probably smart to do a movie without his wife. As odd as that might sound for a romantic comedy, I think, I don't know, there's just something about it. I felt like it kind of helped him to sort of shine a little bit, and maybe because she's just so charismatic, maybe he takes sort of a little bit of a back seat. And here I felt like he was the star of this movie, which is unusual for a Hallmark movie. Like usually the female is sort of the standout, and you can kind of interchange your leading men with any leading man. I feel like, but I felt like was the star. And so it wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It was kind of boring. It wasn't the main thing. It was just like, what is going on? But what was you said you had problems right from the beginning that couldn't quite overcome. What was that for you, Greg?
Well, I felt like there was a lot of exposition at the beginning. Like there were some really heavy scenes right off the bat where, she's standing around with her parents and we're getting the history of, their company. And I felt like we needed to meet the lead male sooner.
I can see that.
We met him very briefly, and then he really didn't crop up again, until minute 20 or so. And I felt like it was exposition heavy, and I wanted it to just get rolling faster. And then the other little beefs I had, and I didn't hate it, don't get me wrong, but a broken leg would not prevent you from planning a party.
That's what I was kind of thinking, because it's like he could still make calls and sit in on the catering meetings and whatever.
You might even be able to get on some crutches and go into a house for an appointment.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was just, I'm sorry, a little laughable to me is at one point they're like, we only have 8 days to plan this party. And I'm like, oh gosh, how are you going to do it in 8 days? And as a writer, I recognize the countdown, and I also recognize just going with the flow. But I felt like you know, I felt like that needed maybe a little bit of massaging. For me, yeah. Just for me.
I can see that. Yeah, I was going to bring I agree about the leg thing. I was kind of like, the other thing that for me was a flaw is, like, there's two Australian actresses in this movie, Pauline Egan, who we've interviewed, and she was fantastic, and Adelaide Kane. And I felt like Pauline Egan is much better at doing an American accent than Adelaide, because I felt like she was always thinking about the accent. There was something sort of mannered about, I mean, she did way better than I could do trying to do an Australian accent, so props to her. But I don't know, I felt like I could just always kind of see her thinking about it. And whereas, like, for Pauline, you wouldn't even know. Like, it's so natural. Like, she does such a good job, I think. And I don't know, there was just something about her that I felt like that kept her from really kind of me, like, buying her character. And but maybe that hurt the chemistry just a little bit. But there were some nice things about her character, I thought. I liked the fact that, like, her goals and careers were taken seriously by the script. I thought that was pretty good. She wasn't expected just to abandon everything for a guy, which I hate, you know, in these movies. I like that. There was some nuance to her. I thought it was kind of hilarious that, like, she asks him for his help, and, like, he makes the crazy suggestion of having
a golden black. What? We only have 8 days, sir. My brother broke his leg. Please, no golden black.
Yeah, I mean, that was hilarious. It's like, how dare he ask for black napkins, and then he asked for, like, what was it in the flowers? You know, it was
white roses, right?
White roses and what's it called? The little flowers. I can't think of the name. But that was funny to me. I was like, wow, what a pain. The person you asked to help you is helping you. How dare he? It was fun to see Ava Grace Cooper, who is just the cutest little girl in the world, in a few scenes. She was fun. I liked the fact that the house was actually, like, amazing. A lot of times these houses, you're like, I don't know if that's really that great. This was an amazing house that they had the party.
The location was great. My favorite line in the movie, though, speaking of the house, was when they went to meet with Kate, and she goes, I look a wreck. And she was, like, in the cutest little jacket. And I'm like, if you look like a wreck, have you met my reindeer? Okay.
Yeah.
So, sure. I digress, but that was just sort of funny to me. And the other big dialogue thing for me was at the end, and when you know, they're pledging their love to each other, and he's like, nothing else matters. And I just had to laugh for a second because he does charity work, and I'm like, oh, out the window. None of that charity matters.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Did you think the party looked fun? Like, it looked, or was it just pretty generic party?
It was nice for a Hallmark party. Like, yeah. That seems kind of harsh, but usually the parties are a little like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not expensive, but this one looked a little bit more expensive than usual. But I do wonder why the lady was painting a vase gold in the party is going to be in like an hour. Aren't people going to run into that vase and get gold all over them? I didn't understand that.
I thought that was, at first I didn't realize that was paint. I thought it was some kind of frosting or something like that, you know, like, but no, yeah, that was weird.
Had to get her into that glitter dress.
Yeah.
But why? Beautiful. I loved the jumpsuit. I was so excited. I was like, that's just really simple. And I love it. That's the best, like, last look I've seen. And then it got ruined. And then that thing she had to wear, sparkly number.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, do you think that there's just not quite as much emotion, I guess, or potential with New Year's Eve compared to Christmas? Because it's like, who cares really about New Year's Eve?
You know what? I do. I like that they're doing New Year's films. I think it's nice. I think, you know, for you know, we love Hallmark. So for it to be reflecting what we're going through, I think is great. But I do feel like like, I love the house also, but I felt like there were a lot of long shots of the van driving on the, you know, and a lot of shots of outside the house. And, you know, I just, which made me feel like maybe there wasn't quite enough plot to fill this. And it sort of goes back to 8 days to plan the party. And I think that, you know, maybe we have party planning fatigue.
I think so.
You know, because of a few of the other movies. So I like New Year's, and again, like, I enjoyed watching this very much, but I felt like there were some missing pieces that maybe could have jazzed things up a bit. Because honestly, that van driving down the snowy road could have been a drinking game. Could have been like, anytime you see it, have some eggnog.
Yeah, that's true. I just remember Alonso Duralde, our friend of the podcast, in his review of New Year's Eve, which this film is infinitely better than that, in my opinion. And it's like, nobody cares about New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is just an excuse to get...
It's the holiday that gets no love.
Yeah, he's like, New Year's Eve is just an excuse to get drunk after Christmas. I don't know.
I love New Year's Eve. I get together with my friends every year and we play the Game of Things, which is a great game.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's so fun. But we don't get to this year because my friend's having a C-section. I mean, come on. Why?
Oh my God, there's a lot of medical stuff. Emma, you have more plot than Midnight Kiss is all I'm saying.
Sure. We make this movie about you. Yeah, I mean, did you like the fact that the Chinese restaurant is able to last minute make hors d'oeuvres, I guess, for 75 people, 2 different kinds on New Year's Eve?
I think I'm worried about the order. Like, if they're not having that much like business, that's kind of sad. Like, how are they still open? Yeah,
and like, what Chinese place doesn't have like delivery? I mean, most Chinese places have delivery of some kind, especially for a catering order, I think. So that was kind of funny. And there's all the dramas. Is the Chinese food going to get there in time? And then her parents show up. Like, I don't know how they were able to arrange that, because they were in Palm Springs. I don't know where this movie was set. It was in like
Washington, I think.
Washington. So they had to get on a plane, get all the way over there, and show up. But they were kind of fun. And yeah, for me, basically, the reason why I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it was because I thought Carlos was super charming. And my only regret with him as his character was that they didn't just have him sing some way, like make some convoluted reason that there's like, all these bands suck. So, I happen to be a great singer.
Oh my gosh, that was, you guys are going to think I'm so nitpicky, but that reminds me of one other thing that I didn't like, is the lead at the top of the movie like 4 times was like, I can't get Dad to stop singing. And in the meantime, standard Christmas song is playing. And I'm like, you know what? That's Bing Crosby, not your dad. Right. All right, I'm going to be quiet now. I loved it. It was wonderful.
But yeah, that would have been fun if because he's singing Love at Sea. Did you see Love at Sea, Emma?
Oh, yeah.
Which one did you like better?
Oh.
This one or
Love at Sea?
Yeah, me too.
I would say, yeah, definitely.
Me too. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, let's see here. They did have a pretty good, I thought, ending kiss. It was pretty long, and it was pretty fun with the fireworks. And I liked that. That was fun. And yeah, that's about all I had to say about it. How many crowns would you give it, Emma?
Let's go with 3.25.
Okay, good. And Greg, what would you give it as first crowns?
I'd give it 3.25 out of 47.
Oh.
I'd give it 3 crowns.
Yeah, same with me. That's what I give it as well. And
well, then so do I. No, I'm kidding.
Emma, no trading back. You gave up that half a crown, sister.
I would show you my rating, but wait, maybe it's back up. The site where I do my ratings is down, so I can't tell you my rating. It was around like 55, something like that. Okay. All right, well, let's dive into Winterfest. So I'm a huge fan of we're going to talk about Winterfest and the mysteries, so it should be really fun. I'm a huge fan of Winterfest. I think they've actually been really solid, almost every single movie except for Winter's Dream last year, which is my favorite.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Woo! But for the most part, I just like the fact they're actually filmed in like real snow and like in the ski resorts and stuff. And I don't know, I just enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. And so we're just going to dive in. So the first one is on the 5th. So it's coming out very soon. Winter Castle. And this stars Amelia Ullerup, Kevin McGarry, Megan Heffern. And Kevin McGarry is in 2 movies in Winterfest. How do we feel about that?
I thought that I was like, am I mistaken? I thought he was just in this one movie. It like freaked me out. Why is he in 2? That's so weird.
And playing the same character.
I mean, obviously, then they have Chris McNally. I think it's definitely to kind of like promote them as far as their new role on When Calls the Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them. But I could care less about this, honestly. I know some people, like my friend Cherry, who helped us a lot with some of our research, helped me a lot with some of the research for this. She thinks it's outrageous. She's like, how can they have the same actor in one? There's only 5 movies and then the same actor twice. But for me, it doesn't matter to me. I feel like pretty much for the most part, these, maybe except Paul Campbell, most of these are pretty interchangeable for me as far as the talent. It comes down to the script and, that kind of stuff for me. But I don't know. Greg, do you think it's a problem? They're getting lazy with their casting?
I don't think they're getting lazy. I imagine that it was not their goal to do this, quite honestly, being in the business. But, so I don't think they're, that may have not been their original intent. But, it'll be fun to see, right? Because I agree, sometimes the men are very interchangeable. And so let's see what his acting is like. Like, to me, that's going to be fun to see if there's a different character, as opposed to just dashing leading man played by Gregg McBride.
You want to come back in February and we can do a Gregg McBride, Greg, what am I saying? Do you want to come back in February and we can do a Kevin McGarry ranking?
Counterpoint. You know what we can do? We could stand in front of a clear board, like in Midnight Kiss when they were looking at that. I was like, are they solving an FBI crime?
That's right. Like, I don't know why.
I'm like, where's the yarn? Like, now wait, we've got to get the food to the location? What? That's crazy talk.
She's a very determined planner.
And it was see-through. That board I loved it. It was cool looking. I get why the set decorator was like, look at this, it's great. And it was stunning. But that thing would be worthless. Like, if I wrote my goals on it, I'd be like, it. And P.S. it would be smudgy too. So.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, yeah.
But so the summary of this is Jenny isn't expecting to find romance at her sister's winter wedding at an ice hotel. But after meeting the best man, Craig, she is falling hard. But there's just one problem. Craig brought a +1 Lena to the venue, which might ruin Jenny's chance at love. So, Emma, what do you think about this? About the ice hotel, the story? What is your thoughts?
It looks so cute.
Yeah.
I want to go to an ice hotel. Are you kidding me? The slide? But am I going to be cold the entire time? I don't know how this works. Because the bed of ice kind of freaked me out.
And the couch of ice? I'm with you. I was chilly watching the preview.
But it looks so cute. And I was like, all these people who want to be ice sculptors and all these other Hallmark Christmas movies, they can have a job at like this ice castle. So that's what they're going to do.
If they did a sequel, they could have Rachel Boston and David Alpay.
That's right, with her chainsaw.
Yeah, Taylor Cole, she wasn't going to be a lawyer. She wanted to sculpt ice. But I think this looks really cute. It's different for Hallmark, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think the big appeal of this is the Ice Hotel. Like, this is really cool. And I guess it's somewhere in like Ontario and Quebec or something.
Are you guys James Bond fans? Because one of the James Bond movies was a segment of it was at an ice hotel. And so I'm super excited for the Ice Hotel just to see it in a different setting where people are falling in love instead of spy games.
Yeah.
But I'm with Emma. I think the Ice Hotel element is a lot of fun and serves Winterfest, right? Like when you don't want to feel like the Winterfest movies are like Christmas minus the tree.
Right.
Exactly.
So I agree with Emma. I think it looks like fun, and I love the little teaser scenes that they showed. That looks like the leads have a great chemistry.
Yeah, and I mean, Emilia Ulrich doesn't have a very good track record on ice in her Hallmark movies. But hopefully that's just an ice skating thing, not a ice hotel thing. But the slide looks really fun. I like the fact that Kevin McCary's character has a little daughter. I think that'll be very cute. They do such a good job with casting kids in Hallmark movies. And so we're going to do our ranking preview excitement level ranking in here. So we have Melted Snow Water. We have a Snow Flurry is number 2. And then our third is Snowball for Snowball Fight. A flirty Snowball Fight, hopefully. And then our top is full on out Frosty the Snowman with his top hat and everything. So it's very exciting. So Emma, what level would you, what preview excitement would you give it?
Am I allowed to give 2 Frosties out during this preview special, or can I only give 1 Frosty?
No, you can give as many as you want. If you want to be equally excited about all of them, I approve.
Oh, this is Frosty the Snowman. I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
With Frosty too.
Yeah, I'm going Frosty. Why not? It looks fun. It'll be a nice little like transition movie from Christmas to.
And at 5 a.m. on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries on January 5th is A Heavenly Christmas. So get one more little dash of Christmas on January 5th before you.
I really like the writer of that.
Nice.
This is one of my favorite. Yeah. One of my favorite Hallmark writers.
I'm kidding. I know you wrote that.
You did a very good job. All right. We have One Winter Proposal. This on the 12th. This stars Taylor Cole, Jack Turner, Rakia Bernard, and Deshane Williams. And they were in the original One Winter Weekend, which is, spoiler alert, to my top non-Christmas Hallmark list, which will be coming out in a couple weeks, is one of my favorites of the whole year. It was really good. And so I'm very excited for this movie. The plot is Kara and Ben are back in the sequel to One Winter Weekend, visiting the resort to rekindle their love. The two bring along Megan and Sean and hope they can also find a spark, because I guess they've drifted apart, which makes me sad. During the trip, Kara discovers a receipt from a jewelry store, but it might not be the engagement ring she's hoping for. So here we go. So, Greg, did you get to see the original One Winter Weekend?
I did see it, yes.
What do you think?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was really good. So are you excited for the sequel?
I'm very excited for the sequel. It looks like a lot of fun. I love that there's, going to be 2 couples, which I think can be fun. Sometimes in Hallmark movies, it's, laser focus on the one, which is great. But I just think it shakes things up a little bit. And, even the actresses doing the winter preview seem to have a really good rapport. And I personally feel like, that's one of the reasons that the first movie was so good. If the actors like each other and are into what they're doing, I think that can translate into their characters and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. My only nervousness in this movie is that it is written by the same writer who wrote Home by Spring, which took me to a dark place. I did not like that movie at all. And so I hope that I described Home by Spring as Hallmark's version of Get Out, but not as entertaining as that sounds. It was not for me.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, I happen to know that in One Winter Proposal, they don't get together by the end. This is the first time that in a movie they don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No,
they do. They get together like My Dear.
I would be so angry. I'm already upset
Oh,
that
come on.
that Megan and Sean had lost touch because they were
Yeah,
so
what was
amazing.
that about? They were my favorite part of that
Yeah.
movie. The first one. And I loved everything about the first one. And
Yeah.
I love Megan and Sean so much.
Like, explain yourself, movie.
You
Well, I'm
guys,
guessing-
there's got to be some drifting apart so there can be plot. Otherwise, it's going to be lots of shots of the van driving.
You're right.
Yeah.
We've had enough of that, Emma.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
At least it seems like this hit, because a lot of the problems with Hallmark sequels is the couple's already together, and so they kind of don't know what to do. And so oddly enough, they go sort of dark. And it's like you have to put all these challenges in people's way and like all of a sudden become like hello realism. And it doesn't work very often. But I feel like at least maybe because of the fact there's two couples that they won't go in that direction, that'll just still stay kind of fun and light. That's what I want.
Yeah, the preview looked really relaxing to me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I love so much about the first one. I was relaxed the entire time. No one was an anxious person, and I'm an anxious person, so I don't want to watch anxious people.
Yeah.
So I was just relaxed and kicking back the whole time. And this had the same feel as that. Everyone just looks like they're having a blast, and it makes me so happy. And I'm so excited. And the whole time you talked about it, I was dancing. I know you can't see me, but I was dancing. So ready for it.
And Cardi Wong is in it, who is just
really?
hitting it out of the park with everything he's been doing lately. And it's by Gary Yates, who did Pearl in Paradise and Snowed in Christmas. So he's great. So I'm going to have faith in the writer of Home by Spring that he can pull himself up and he can make a great comeback. It'll be exciting. Very exciting. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to give it a snowball fight just because of that little one concern, but I am pretty pumped about it. What do you think, Emma?
Oh, I'm a dancing Frosty. The snowman. Like,
oh, nice. She's got her top hat on and everything.
You're like, Frosty's proposing to me, right?
I'm
yeah.
Singing, doing everything.
Greg, what about you?
I'm snowball fight, but with a close second to Frosty.
Yeah.
So snowball fight, but I got that carrot ready to put in Frosty.
It's the same with me. All right. Next, we have A Winter Princess. This is on the 18th. This stars Natalie Hull and Chris McNally, and it's about Carly, an undercover princess, needs to plan a ski resort 50th anniversary party with the owner's handsome brother, Ben. And I have to say, like, the little clip from the previous show like gave me more hope in this, but why did they explain on there why she's an undercover princess?
I'm so confused.
Because actually a friend of mine produced this movie.
Okay, good.
Okay, go ahead.
And originally it was a Christmas movie, but they took Christmas out. And I think, and I could be wrong, don't quote me, let's keep this just between us three and our wonderful audience, that she needed a change and needed to find out what it's a big surprise, right? Because we never see this with royalty, but needed to know what it's like to not be treated like a princess. We all can relate, right? What's it like to not be a model? I always say. And then I realize I'm not a model and I know why. So she's sick and tired of that crown. Yeah. Well, they were talking in the thing of how heavy that crown is.
Yeah.
True.
It's a lot of work to be a princess.
Heavy the heart that wears the crown.
How's it wearing a frosty hat? Is that a lot of work?
So this is directed by Ellen Harmon, who has done a bunch, and he recently did Mingle All the Way and Road to Christmas, which were pretty fun, I think. Mm-hmm. And it includes Casey Manderson in a supporting role.
Casey Manderson is in this one?
Yep. And
how did I miss that?
And then Laura Gilchrist, who was in It's Christmas Eve, Mackenzie Gray, who's been in some, and Brendan Zub, who we got to interview. On Monday, we posted our interview of him, and he is a delight. So there's that. And and Chris McNally is... He's great.
He's a practical Gregg McBride. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to say that again, and you guys aren't going to laugh. Okay? All right. Never mind.
He is a beautiful human being. I'm sure on the inside and out. Well, I know for sure on that.
You know what? I know for a fact that the locations are going to be great. And for anyone that saw the preview show, you could sort of see that. But they were shooting before and a little bit during Thanksgiving at this beautiful, beautiful resort in Canada. So, in terms of the authentic winter and all that fun stuff, I think, along with the story and the romance, that the locations are going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I actually do really like Natalie Hall. She was in The 7-Year Hitch, which is a really good Hallmark movie from way back. We actually talked about it on a podcast with Elisa from Best Forever's pod, and she's quite good in that. And she looks like a crazy person in this movie. She looked nuts, but I hope it'll be in a really fun way. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a snowball fight because I've just seen so many royal movies. That's my only kind of hesitation, but it looks fun. I'm more excited than I should be because I've seen so many royal movies. Yeah, it looks fun. I give it a snowball. What about you, Emma?
Well, you know how much I love the royal movies, which is not at all, but that makes more sense. I'm glad that Gregg explained why she was undercover. I was confused. I thought she was just a princess that lived at the ski resort, and it was very confusing to me.
She's a spy. You said princess spy.
You said the two magic words, which are Casey Manderson. So I'm bumping it up from Melted Snowwater to Snow Flurry.
Okay, good. So what about you, Gregg? What would you give it?
I'm going to give it a snowball. Like you, when I hear royalty, I'm just like, but, well, not like you. I'm worse than you. But, but listen, again, they can take that plot device and make it really fun. And the clips that I saw from this look really fun. Yeah. So for me, it's a snowball.
Yeah, I think so. I think it did look really fun. So we will see if they can pull it off. And they're doing a royal movie in Winterfest and in Valentine's. So they're not going away anytime soon. So
rats.
Next, we have Winter Love Story. This stars Jen Lilly and Kevin McGarry. This is our second dose. This is on the 19th of January. And it is about Cassie is having problems selling her first novel. So she teams up with fellow author Elliot to help her out. Although she expected to sell more copies, what she didn't expect was to fall in love.
No one expects to fall in love. Nobody. Not in these movies.
I'm still shocked there was a midnight kiss and midnight kiss, so don't look at me. I'm like, what?
I'm really feeling Jen Lilly's long, darker hair in this movie. That was my main
It's very luxurious. I was like, wow.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I like it better. I like her darker hair better than the lighter hair. That's my great insight from the preview. I love Jen Lilly. I didn't like her summer movie, but other than that, for the most part, I think she's just one of the best people I've ever known and an amazing human. And I like her in most of her movies. She's just delightful. So on that alone, I'm like, yay, all right. And they have a dog named Bungie, which is the cutest thing. They have a dog named Bungie. And she described as warmth and snow and kismet between two characters who didn't think they'd get along and a cute dog. I mean, come on. What do you think about this?
Well, I also have a little intel on this also. It's very much I'm told the original script was very much a classic kind of, love story rom-com. And so I think that, and then they decided to make it a Winterfest movie. And I think that because it has such a strong base in the script, that's going to translate on screen. Like the whole dog thing, the whole kind of, to me, the author thing is fun. We've seen it in romantic comedies before, but not quite as much as royalty. So I think that this is going to have good bones, and that's going to, in terms of structure, and I think that that's going to translate to the screen. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. And they also have a hot cocoa cook-off, which sounds really good.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, hot cocoa cook-off. Yeah, I this director is new to Hallmark. He did a couple Good Witch episodes. That's all he's done. So it'd be interesting to see. I do think the original title was Love on the Books. I think that is way better than Winter Love Story. Could you get more generic than Winter Love Story? Like what?
Love on the Books sounds like accountants, right?
Yeah, I guess I can.
Or do I know nothing about accountants?
But like Winter Love Story seems like a fake title when you're trying to throw off people looking like it'd be like, you know, when they're trying to like hide that they're filming.
It's almost like a Simpsons.
Whatever. We'll just say Winter.
Let's go to the movies and see Winter Love Story.
Yeah.
It's set on a boat during the summer.
I mean, maybe, yeah, I don't know what you could do for a title, but that was just not my favorite. So, but I am looking forward to it. What prediction level would you give it, Emma?
I'd say Snowball.
Yeah.
I think it could go either way. It could either be super boring or it could be really charming. Like, I just didn't get much from the preview, but yeah, I like Jen Lilly a lot, so. Yeah,
I'm also going to give it a snowball fight, but like an excited, really competitive snowball fight, because
a snowball that could do some damage. That's nice, Rachel. Happy New Year, everyone.
A snowball with rocks in it.
That's right.
One of those, like Will Ferrell and Elf, like boom, 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 boom. So Greg, what about you? What are you giving?
Snowball as well.
Okay, good. All right, this is our last Winterfest movie. So we have Snow Coming, and this stars Lindy Booth and Trevor Donovan. This is on the 26th of January, and it is high school sweethearts Samantha and Jake reunite at their old stomping grounds at a holiday event called the Snowball. They discover they're both still very much in love, but Jake might spoil their romance once again when he's forced to leave town for his job. Those darn jobs. Jobs are the worst. There's a lot of reasons to be hopeful about this. It's directed by Peter DeLuise, who is probably the best director in Hallmark. It's hard to think of. He does such a great job. He did Darrow, he did Birthday Wish, he did Harvest Moon, all of My Heart. He's great. And so it has the writer that worked with Joie on A Song for Christmas. And it also has Pauline Egan again in this. And this has like a football element to it because Joe Theismann and Ed Marinaro are both in the movie. So there's sort of like a football homecoming, I guess, element to it. And I like Lindy Booth and Trevor Donovan. They're really fun. So as much as I'm sick of high school sweethearts finding each other again, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I just wrote down nope. And I don't know. I just got really vibes from the preview. I'm a huge sports fan, but I've never gotten football. And I know it's not going to be all about football, but nothing else about it spoke to me. Mm-hmm. I'm just a real downer about this one.
Yeah,
a real downer.
I can understand that. Greg, what do you think?
I would give it a snow flurry. What I saw in the clips didn't thrill me really. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like maybe if anyone else watched the preview show, there was that moment where they kind of held hands again. Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird to show a scene like that out of context, right? It almost can be kind of silly, but I think that could also be really something sweet and wonderful in the context of the story. So even though I'm a snow flurry, I'm hoping it gets right up to snowball right away as I start watching it.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. The talent behind it makes me want to elevate it to a snowball fight.
Yeah, the director too. Sorry, Rachel, but you're absolutely right about the director. He is fantastic, and he's gonna, even if it's not the best script ever, he's gonna elevate it. And actors elevate things, and directors certainly do too. He is fantastic. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go snow flurry, but it's a hopeful. It's a snow flurry on Christmas Day, so you're like, yay, it's snowing. So Yeah, so I'm hopeful. All right, real quick, let's dive into the mysteries. Our first mystery is next Emma Fielding mystery, More Bitter Than Death. This is on the 13th, and it's while hosting the annual gathering of the Association for the Study of American Archaeology at Kensor College. Emma Fielding is thrust into the midst of a murder mystery when the president of her organization is poisoned on the eve of announcing her successor, with many of the leading archaeologists present having expressed their entitlement to the presidency prior to the murder. Emma and FBI pal Jim Connor have plenty of likely suspects from which to choose, and this stars Courtney Thorne-Smith, James Tupper, Mark Valley. Directed by Kevin Fair, who did a bunch of the Signed, Sealed, Delivered movies, so that's somewhat hopeful. I wasn't a big fan of the last one, Emma Fielding. I thought it was super boring, and it got a little fun with Kimberly Sustad towards the end, but a lot of it didn't do it for me. So I don't know. What do you think, Emma?
I don't watch the mysteries because they just scare me, even though they shouldn't, because it's on Hallmark, but I still get nightmares. But I don't know. Of all the other mysteries, I thought this one seemed kind of like the one I was least excited about.
Okay.
I don't know, just like a lot of politics, but I wanted that job. I don't know. It just kind of seems boring to me.
This is the third one in the Emma Fielding series. And what do you think, Greg? Does it sound like a fun mystery to you?
You know what? I'm a big fan of Courtney Thorne-Smith. So I probably am a little bit more excited than you guys are. I don't watch all of the mysteries, but I'm a little excited about this one.
Yeah. It does have also Jeff Gustafson, I guess. He's from Signed, Sealed, Delivered, is in it. He's probably the villain. But we'll see. Those guest stars are always very suspect. But yeah, it sounds solid. It sounds fun enough as far as a mystery. So just based on this, I'm going to give it a flurry. What do you think, Greg?
I'll second your flurry.
Okay, good. And Emma?
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're talking about the two new ones. First new one is Ruby Herring Mysteries, Silent Witness. This stars Taylor Cole, Stephen Huszar, and Sean Christian. While attending her sister's wedding at a resort in the mountains outside Seattle, TV consumer reporter Ruby Herring becomes involved in a murder mystery when an old family friend drowns under suspicious circumstances. Encouraged by her dad, legendary investigative crime reporter John Herring, Ruby conducts her own unorthodox investigation to the consternation of Jake Killian, the handsome, by the book Seattle PD, homicide detective assigned to the case. So I am really looking forward to this because I've just been on a huge Taylor Cole kick the last year. She's got 2 movies in January, which is amazing. And I think this actually makes like some degree of sense as opposed to like being a librarian and solving crime. She's a reporter, so it's like, or like in the morning show Mysteries where she's like she's a chef on television. Why is she solving crimes? I have no idea. But in this case, it makes a little more sense, especially with her dad being an investigative reporter, kind of egging her on, encouraging her. And so I'm actually I think that her and Stephen Huszar will have pretty good chemistry. She does have a terrible wig. I can forget that. So I'm actually going to give this Frosty the Snowman. I think it looks really like a lot of potential. It might have Sarah Drew in it, who I loved in Christmas Pen Pals. We're not sure, but anyway, she's the best. So if that's true, what do you think, Greg, about this one?
Well, first of all, let me adjust my bad wig. I didn't know you were judging that today. Obviously, we know now why Emma is not on camera, because we both are wearing bad wigs today. We called each other, we're like, let's wear bad wigs. Okay. I agree with you, Rachel, because you're not only beautiful, but you are smart. I love Taylor Cole. I think she's great. I think, again, it's going to be fun to see her in 2 movies, sort of back to back in the same month. This, as a writer, I feel like it sounds pretty organic, the plot. It's not totally convoluted. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I would give it a snowball.
Yeah. That I thought makes sense. Okay, last one. Mystery 101.
Wait, what does Emma think? Oh, is she?
Yeah, what do I think?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Remember Emma?
Hello.
Emma, what do you think?
Even though I don't want to watch the mysteries, I'm pretty excited about this one. Like, Taylor Cole is a full-on Hall star now.
Yeah.
She has a mystery series and she hosted a preview show. Like, that's insane. And I've, like Rachel, I've really grown to love her within the last year. And I don't know, I might actually watch this one, even though they scare me.
Because I think, like, it's like a drowning, so I don't think it'll be, like, super, like, scary, is my guess. So maybe it won't be too bad. Maybe I can watch it first,
Rachel,
and then I will...
This just in, drownings are scary.
I don't know.
Jaws Santa has totally changed.
It's true. It's true.
You're like, if there's not a shark in it, it's not scary.
It is scary. It's like somebody getting, like, Stockton's shot in comparison.
Well, we're going to find out. We'll have to check back in, and we'll find out if Emma watched number 1 and is Emma in therapy number 2. Yeah. That's how we're going to.
Should be.
And then Taylor can host a special for her. It'd be like a telethon thing. We'll do, Christy will come in and do the mac and cheese. Full circle.
All right. So the last one is Mystery 101. This stars Jill Wagner, Christopher Poloha, who have appeared together in multiple shows and in a Hallmark movie. And it's Amy is an expert in whodunits and sizing people up. So when she meets Detective Travis investigating a plant theft, Amy deduces he's new in town and divorced by his accent. Got that divorced accent. Watch out. And missing wedding band. That's probably more of a tell.
It's a divorce accent. It's just a weirdly written sentence.
You know what?
So
I can tell
funny.
by his accent that he's new in town and not married.
Yeah. You have a tell when you get divorced. That's the thing. Though Travis can't discuss his investigation, he and Amy banter playfully while she waits for her student Lacey, who doesn't show up. Fearing Lacey is in trouble when her boyfriend turns up dead.
Another tell. If the boyfriend is dead, the girlfriend might be in trouble. Quick tip.
And connecting a colleague's suicide with and it's in quotations, suicide with plant theft. Amy travels both mysteries and risks her life. Now Travis must sleuth fast. Do you know you can sleuth fast?
I did it once, and I said excuse me after. It wasn't my fault.
Or his looming romance with Amy could die on the vine. Oh my gosh. I did a terrible job.
All right, I'll tell you what a mystery is who wrote this synopsis. I wish I could hear his or her accent to know if they were from the town or not.
Yeah.
And when we say plant theft, is this a forest or a manufacturing plant? These are questions I have. Did they steal a ficus tree?
Maybe it's like an Ant-Man where the whole plant got shrunk.
Or here's the fun part: suicide. Air quotes. Suicide.
Quote unquote.
Wait, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it without my wedding ring. Ready? With an accent. Suicide.
You're not divorced.
You might be able to tell I'm from out of town and not an actor. All right. Putting the wedding ring back on. Oh, midnight kiss. Midnight kiss. All right, come on.
But I am actually pretty excited about this. The director did The Perfect Christmas Present, which is not my favorite. And he did Every Other Holiday, which I also didn't like. So, but just on the fact that it has Jill Wagner and Christopher Poloha together, and it looks super fun in the trailers, not necessarily the summary. And also it has Preston Vanderslythe, and I'm guessing he'll be the villain because he is hilarious as a villain. So that could be really fun. And yeah, it sounds bonkers, but I'm hopeful. Greg, what would you give it?
I would give it a snowball mainly for my reason for that is Jill Wagner. I think she's great. I think that she throws herself into it. And, maybe the reason that the little blurb is a little convoluted is because they're trying not to give away the mystery. And so, again, I'm going to give it a snowball of hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I will also give it a hopeful snowball because when he was talking about it, he made it sound so fun. So let's just hope that it's just that there isn't too much time spent on the divorced accents. But we'll see.
And Emma?
What do you think?
Thanks for remembering me, Greg.
Yeah.
You're very welcome, Emma.
Well, I love Jill Wagner and Christopher Polaha in Pearl in Paradise. Oh my gosh, I love their chemistry. So I'm really excited that they're going to be together in this. And it seems a little How to Get Away with Murdery. Do you guys watch that?
I haven't seen it, but I know the premise. So
yeah, but I hope it's not like that. Because that's real scary.
Will you watch this one, Emma?
Oh yes, because I love both of them so much.
So you might watch 2 out of 3 of the mysteries.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
We just got a security system for the house. So yeah, maybe I will start watching these.
Well, just avoid any amateur sleuths. As soon as someone tells you they're an amateur sleuth, walk away from that person. Do not encourage the relationship.
That's right. And also the other takeaway is that if someone's boyfriend commits suicide, they're in danger.
Yeah.
So just,
So you should be safe. Let's go.
Quick tip.
So yeah, I'd say it looks like a pretty strong January. Way to go. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be, I know some people are just exhausted from Christmas, and I can understand that, but I'm ready to go. It's my birthday month, so it looks like they got a pretty good slate for my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. And
when's your birthday, Rachel?
The 23rd.
Aww.
Yay.
And you're turning 23. That's fun.
Yeah. So thank you so much, you guys,
birthday.
for coming on the podcast and previewing these things and talking about Midnight Kiss. It was really fun. I just really had a great time. And so, Emma, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as @the_Hallremark, and you can find my recaps and reviews of Hallmark movies on thehallremark.com.
Great. I'll have that link in the description section. You can check it out. And Greg, where can people find you?
Wait, I just have to point out the irony of Emma, where can we find you? And we cut to a black screen. Not. And it is because of Emma's wig, everyone.
It's just so bad. I'm sorry.
Maybe if she really likes the murder mystery shows, then she'll be more confident.
You know what? Whatever gives more screen time for me, I'm only doing shows with Emma from now on.
Yeah. I will let Amber know.
Speaking of Amber, sending a big shout out to her.
Yes.
We miss her and we
Yes.
love her. And
family commitment. So
as for me, again, you can check it for anyone who hasn't seen it or might want to watch it again. A Heavenly Christmas is on the 5th on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. If you need another little dose of Christmas, and otherwise, I'm working on some fun stuff, including a dance movie that I'm really enjoying. And when I'm ready to shout out about that, I will let Rachel know and see if she'll shout out for me.
I will. All right. Well, that sounds awesome. And yeah, you can follow me on Rachel's Reviews on all of our social media and check that out. I do weekly family movie nights every Monday, so it's a lot of fun. Make sure you're following the podcast all over social media, and if you can put in your reviews and rankings on iTunes, really appreciate it. And if you can give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, that is also very helpful. So yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff planned coming up on the podcast. We're going to be doing our top 10 Christmas of Countdown to Christmas with the Hallmark hubby, and that's going to be really fun.
No way.
Yes.
That's
I'm very
so
excited.
fun.
Yes. And then we have our non-Christmas podcast that will be coming in a couple weeks with Ruth Hill, where we're going to be our top 10 non-Christmas. So a lot of fun stuff coming up, and we'll look forward to it. And let us know what you are excited for as far as Winterfest. What rating, in our snow rating, would you give each of these films and the mysteries? What are you thinking about them? And what did you think of Midnight Kiss? Let us know in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And so thanks so much, and have a very, very happy new year. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.